up. Get ready. It's going to be a very, very intense journey.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Frame Skip Podcast. I am one of your hosts for the evening, Elijah Steele, and with me is George, the Patriots fan, Loftus.
That's right, we're going back to basics, everybody. Just George, the Patriots fan. My friends can call me George, the Pats fan. But man, I gotta tell you, Red Sox up 2-1.
Nice.
Up 2-1 on the Astros and the LCS. We might be going to a World Series.
I saw like half of my Twitter timeline who like sports all saying the name of this one person. I know you were one of them.
Mm-hmm. Kike?
Yeah, that one.
That is Kike Hernandez. He was a free agent who was with the Dodgers last year, came to the Red Sox, and the dude is unreal. Like, he has hit as many home runs as he has struck out, like in the playoffs, which is just like, it's unreal. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I also want to mention your Pats made me very upset because they just had to get a flag on that Jacoby Myers touchdown, didn't they?
Yeah, that really breaks my heart too. I just want that dude to get a touchdown. He deserves it so much. That guy is like incredible. Like, that guy is one of the most amazing receivers I've seen.
He is the only receiver in NFL history with more than 1,000 yards and no touchdowns.
No touchdown, yeah. Which is funny because that feels like such a Patriots thing too. Like, that is like peak Brady and Belichick era, where it's just like, you know, there's some tight end you've never heard of who's got 980 yards and like one touchdown, you know, like over his like career or whatever. Like, that's such like a New England like frame of mind. But man,
I have
Jacoby
him.
Myers is so good. Yeah,
I have him in my keeper league, and I'm genuinely thinking of keeping him next year as a 12th round pick. So like, oh no, he would end up being like a 13th because Waller would be pushed down to a 12th. So the way the keeper league works is, okay, for example, I have Zeke as a 3rd round keeper right now. Mm-hmm. I also traded for Elijah Moore, who's a 3rd round keeper. So say I keep both of them, I get to choose one who goes down to a 4th round keeper. So I would choose Zeke to go down. Then, who was 4th before, in this case, Josh Jacobs, would move down to a 5th. And then that whole line moves down as there's, like, if there's no round in between, that whole line moves down. And that's why this whole thing started. Last year, Waller was a 7th round pick. This year, he's an 11th, which means forevermore, as long as he is kept by me or another team, he will be an 11th round pick.
Wow.
So that's like, right now, I have James Robinson as a 20th and Lamar Jackson as a 21st. But that's how the keeper league works. And I grabbed Jacoby in the 12th round this year. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because that was when Cam Newton was still there and he passed the ball like 3 times a game.
Yeah.
So
he was really good until he got COVID. I think we've talked about this in the podcast before, where like there had to be like extenuating circumstances of like his COVID designation.
But hey, I also grabbed Cordero Patterson off the waivers.
Yeah, I did too. God, his bye crushed me this week. It's just the two of us this week, so let's just talk a little fantasy. I went 0-5 this week in all my leagues. It was heartbreaking. I lost if he managed to convert that like 4th and 1 or whatever, and not Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen, if he managed to convert that. Yeah. I would have won that league, and that's like the most important league to me because the winner gets a trophy, which like I have because I won the league last year, but the loser gets a toilet seat that they either have to install on their toilet, which is gross, or set up prominently in their home for other people to see, which is also gross. So the last thing I want to do is lose this fantasy league, and I am now 2-4 in this league. It is not looking good.
I went 3-7 this week in leagues. I won 3 and lost 7.
Gotcha.
Which
rough stuff.
Yeah, but like the Cordero Patterson. So I'm in a 32 team league.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's ridiculous.
What? So do you have like Gunnar Olszewski like on someone's team, like the kick returner for the Patriots, and just like,
Oh, he is
man,
definitely on a team.
Those 17 yards he got on returning kicks, like that's actually the difference maker between a winner and a loser this week.
Unless there was a bye, he probably didn't play this week, but if there's a bye, there's a good chance. I picked up Alex Erickson off waivers, completely knowing any points I was getting was based off of return yardage, but he actually got a reception for 17 yards. But because I needed to because of buys.
I watch football every Sunday for at least the last, I'm 31. I'd say comfortably like at least the last like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, extending further. I remember watching Pats games when I was a kid, and like Niners games when I was a kid, just like during the Jerry Rice years. I don't know who the hell that guy is. He just said, who is he?
Alex Erickson was actually a wide receiver at Cincinnati for a while, and he is currently at Carolina.
Okay,
but that's how. So it's an IDP league. Also, it was a 40-round draft.
That's that individual defensive player.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm in one of those too, and just shoot me in the face. I'm not doing this again next year.
To give you an idea, my starting lineup, also I want you to take note, I had no running back last year, because last year was our first year, and my running back was literally arrested. My 3rd round running back, who was my starter, was arrested during the draft.
Okay.
So I had no running back. I picked up Giovanni Bernard later. He was my starting running back in this league. And then I picked up Cordero Patterson off waivers at the beginning of the year last year. So, and I traded for Josh Jacobs. So,
Cordero Patterson's got to be kind of terrifying though, because like his usage rate has gone down every week, and like he's still producing like mad points, which is insane.
Yeah.
But he's doing it with fewer chances. And it's like, what are you guys doing? He's clearly the most like athletic player on your team besides Kyle Pitts. Like the fact that you don't just have like an RPO only offense with Matt Ryan, either throwing it to Kyle Pitts or like dunking it out to Patterson, to Cordero Patterson. Cause like Mike Davis, I'm sorry, he's useless. Calvin Ridley hasn't caught anything all year.
Yeah.
And then Russell Gage, I think, is injured. So it's like, what other options do you have? Because Matty Ice, I'm sorry, a little too old to be running, you know, getting first downs with his legs anymore. So like, just dump it out to people who can actually catch.
To give you an idea, do you know who my 3 tight ends on my team are?
Are they known or like? Is this the 32-person league?
One is known.
Okay, one is known. I'm afraid you got screwed and like you have like Jonnu Smith or something.
Robert Tonyan is my starting tight end. Starting tight end.
Does he catch anything?
Occasionally, 2 for 10 last game.
Okay, yeah. Devontae Adams really eats into his catching plate there, catching lunch.
My other 2 tight ends are Foster Moreau.
Is that the guy who had the island where people turn into animals? It's Dr.
What?
Moreau. That's okay. My bad. Island of Dr. Moreau. English major joke. Yay.
He is the 2nd string tight end for Raiders. And this kind of gets a bump now, but Tommy Sweeney, backup tight end for the Bills.
All right. So wait, with it, because like I'm in like a individual defensive player league too. Do you get points for like blocking with your tight end?
No.
Like is that how deep your league goes? Where like if
we don't do blocking.
If they actually like stuff like a safety or something, you get points.
If they get a tackle, like you'll get tackle points in IDP leagues from. So like who was it? The other Sterling Shepard. I got a couple tackles from.
Oh, because because turnovers and he would make the tackle on the guy who got ridiculous.
But to give you an idea Rashawn Jenkins had 6 solo tackles. I got 1.75 for each of those. 3 assist tackles, 1 for those. 3 for a pass defended and 3 for a forced fumble. So he ended up 19.5 points.
Well, we'll move on to video games. I want to share one thing with you before we do move on to video games. So I'm in a work league. Quarterback this week, bye week, Josh Allen. Wide receiver 1, Devontae Adams. He's playing. That's great. Wide receiver 2, Tyler Lockett. Probably going to bench him, actually. Not feeling great about Tyler Lockett. Running back 1, Austin Eckler. Benching him. There's a bye week. Running back 2, Tony Pollard. Benching him. Bye week. Tight end, Dalton Schultz. Benching him. Bye week. Wider, flex, Deontay Johnson. Benching him. Bye week. So it's just the first real bye week of the year, and man, I am just feeling screwed from every direction in every league.
Yeah, that's fair. Because a number of my leagues I have David Montgomery and Zeke Elliott. So
did you pick up Khalil Herbert?
I tried, but he was already taken because those leagues are deep.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's was it D'Ernest Johnson or whatever on Cleveland is the new hot
Oh my god, I need to pick someone up in my auction league.
I'm looking at the clock right now. It's 8:11. I'm all right, so George, you got 5 hours before waivers. We gotta hurry up and do this podcast.
my auction league, I have Jonathan Taylor. Yay. Zeke.
That's great.
On bye. James Robinson. Yay. Kareem Hunt. So I've got
how long is he out for?
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
should we have saved this for the end of the podcast? Is this a better garbage time?
I don't know. It's fine. This is
that'd be really fun though if we did have a segment called Garbage Time at the end and it was just us talking about fantasy football.
Yo.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right. We'll do a monthly
monthly
fantasy
garbage
football
time.
That's just called Garbage Time.
It sounds pretty fun actually.
But speaking of garbage time, it's also game time. George, what have you been playing?
I've been playing exactly one game and one game only. And it is getting to the point where it is starting to drive me crazy. I have completed the Saboteur since the last time we talked. I mentioned this game last week. This is the open world by Pandemic Studios. It takes place in a Nazi-occupied Paris, France. And you play Sean Devlin, the little Irish race car driver, with a knack for revenge, just going around trying his best to end the occupation of the City of Light. And this game is awesome. This game is huge. And this platinum might actually kill me, Elijah. It might actually be the death of me.
¿Por qué?
So your map, when you open it, there's black and white areas, and those are the areas that the Nazis still occupy. I've completed the main quest line. So that brought color back to a bunch of the map. I've got 4 more side quest lines, and then that should restore color to the rest of the map, which is awesome. But the map is broken up into subsections. So there's Paris is Paris 1, Paris 2, Paris 3. I'm okay, that makes sense. In Paris 1, there are, let's see, where are we? There are 333 things I need to blow up, targets I need to take out for 1 trophy.
Oh my gosh.
In Paris Area 2, there's 212. In Paris Area 3, 239. In this countryside section called Le Havre, there's 76. In this other countryside, there's 53. And I'm all right, it's a long weekend, but all manageable. And then there's just a generic countryside where it's 425.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just it's starting the scope of it is finally starting to set. And when you're playing a game and you think you understand the trophies,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden you take some time off from it, then you look at it and you're no, I actually understand what I have to do, and I recognize it's putting together a puzzle where you understand the border of what you're supposed to do, and then you can use that to just fill in the inside.
Yeah, I
feel like I'm getting there. And Elijah, I don't know if I can do it. It's really a marathon at this point. I'm at 68 or 70%. I'm so close to being done, and I'm about to pop off 3 more trophies. Probably not tonight. I think I'm going to watch the Red Sox play when we finish recording. They're up 2-1 on the Astros, and I hate the Astros. Right. So let's do that. So I'm probably not gonna play tonight. So I'm probably gonna play tomorrow, and then like I can bust those out in like a night and get like 3 or 4 more trophies. But then it's just like these ambient free play things, man. It's just infuriating. Like it's just too much because you can only hold like you can have bazookas like the Panzer Shreks or whatever, and then you can hold dynamite, and then you can hold like remote charges. It's like, oh, this is really cool. You can only hold 16 pieces of dynamite and 16 pieces of remote charges. You can only hold like 5 bazookas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing the math. I'm like, all right, so that's 37 targets, and that's if I don't screw up anything. All right, so like I need to go back to base 10 different times to like refill my ammo to just like clear one area. Like like Paris one, I'm just like, okay, respect to everyone who has this platinum. I think if I had figured this out when I was in college and I was smoking a lot more weed and just had a lot more general downtime, I think I would have been more into it. I don't know. I'll report back next week. I'll either have the platinum by next week or I will have killed myself.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Hopefully the platinum one.
Hopefully platinum. If I had to choose between those two, definitely platinum.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that is me, like just slowly unraveling and like losing my mind at the size of this endeavor.
Well, that's a way to do it.
Yeah.
As for me, there's mainly one game I've been playing as well. Called Back 4 Blood.
Okay.
Which is literally Left 4 Dead 3 and everything but name. And like, I know I've said that before, but I mean, you could boot up this game and you know the exact controls. Because it's Left 4 Dead. But I'm like addicted to this game. And I did not see that coming in. I've played the first act like 12 times because whenever I find someone else to play with, they had like just gotten the game. So I help them through the first act. But I don't mind because it's just so fun. Unlocking everything, going for all the cards. It's chaotic fun. Which is exactly what I didn't realize I needed.
Is it as like you say chaotic fun? I just want to like get a proper like scope of it. You remember in like Left 4 Dead when you were playing, like when the game first came out, like Left 4 Dead 2 probably, how there were like moments where like it didn't look so much like a horde of zombies as much as it looked like a tidal wave of things just like coming at you.
Yeah.
Like there was just like so many like polys on screen.
Yeah.
And it just felt overwhelming. Does it feel like that? Because like that felt to me like kind of like shoddy PC port.
It doesn't. It seems much more pieced together, maybe. Okay. So like a horde doesn't just mean here comes everything. It means a lot of stuff is coming, but it's not like it's going to be crazy. That being said, the game has one major problem right now, and supposedly they fixed it, and then we experienced that same exact problem literally that day, where there are too many. Ridden are the name of the infected in the game. So there were way too many special Ridden. And the less number of like actual players you have, the harder it is. Because the bots, I want to call them dumb, but that's giving them too much credit.
Okay.
A friend and I were playing, like I said, it was that night, and we were running across the bridge because we had to get across there to a boat to blow it up, blah, blah, blah. And there were 8 special infected there at once.
It's tough.
That,
yeah.
Like, they downed us super fast. Because there's that along with all the normal infected, and it was just too much, way too much. So there are random spikes in difficulty, not even from the challenge card system, which I'll talk about the cards in a minute, but like the game just gets super difficult out of nowhere. We're playing on the easiest difficulty. There are 3 difficulties. We tried playing on the second difficulty last night. We didn't make it through a single set of a mission.
It's really
There were
funny that
3
you
of us.
say. It's really funny you bring this up because I played a little bit of Aliens Fireteam Elite, which was like definitely going for like Left 4 Dead-y vibes,
Mhm.
and like that one feels like the worst parts of like the Left 4 Dead 360 port, you know.
Oh.
But man, one, the AI is bunk in that one too. Two, it's so hard, and it gets off on being hard, where it's like the point is how hard it is, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, oh man, that's like really not in the spirit of the Aliens franchise,
Yeah.
I think.
Or and it's not in the spirit of what the game is trying to be, really.
Mhm.
So, it's kind of a letdown because I was thinking of picking that game up here when it comes to, like, $20-ish.
The trophies are busted. Like they
Well,
put out
never mind
uh
then.
some patch that actually completely broke them. But like does it feel like that? Like does it feel like that's the point, or does it just feel like unbalanced and like something's wrong?
If it wasn't for how bad the number of special ridden is, it wouldn't feel even remotely as bad. So I think
Okay.
it's more just busted
Hmm.
because they said they put out a patch to lower the number of special ridden, and then that happened. I've never seen so many special ridden at once. So I feel like it's just
It's like you forget
broken.
to put it's like an Office Space. Like they put the
Yeah,
decimal point in the wrong place, and all of a sudden they were millionaires. You know.
exactly. But there's a card system that the game uses, which I wasn't sure exactly what that meant beforehand, but now that I'm playing with it, I actually really like it. Where before each round, you draw a card. You have a 15 card deck, and you go in, and it'll have be like, oh, hey, you drew a hand of 5 cards. Pick one. You can activate that card. So I have a couple of the advanced cards because I had like bought them with the in-game money and that. And like there will be one card is plus 25% ammo. Uh plus 20% stamina, plus 20% stamina regeneration. Um plus 40 health, minus 20% stamina. Just different stuff like that. Uh
Sure.
and like you pick one of those to activate it and then go on the mission. There are a number of missions in each act. I think Act 1 had 12 or 14. Um, and those cards carry through. So, say you're on the 10th mission and you invite randoms in. When those randoms come in, it'll ask them to draw 10 cards because that's where you're at. So,
Mm.
I actually really like that system because it lets you kind of use a build that you want to do. So, man, I really want a lot of stamina in this one, which is a bad choice. I've found out. But I really want a lot of stamina in this one. So go for any cards that use stamina. Or, man, I really want to get the maximum amount of copper I can, which is like I was about to say in-game currency. Technically, there's 2 in-game currencies. You earn supply points when you finish missions, and that's what lets you get new cards from out in the main menu area. But then inside the missions themselves, there's copper, which is what you use at the beginning of each mission in the like in-game shop there. Like
Okay.
buy one of the weapons that they have there, or I really want to get a grenade or stuff like that. And there are cards that let you start with more copper, or my favorite one is copper will light up when it's near you so you can see it easily, and more piles of copper will be found in the wild. I'm like, oh, awesome, I like that card. And it's just so neat the way it's used, because then there's a challenge card or 2 or 3 depending on how well you're doing. It like adapts to it. Um, and it'll be like, get to the end with all 4 survivors uh alive to get 500 copper and plus 10 supply points. But then it also could be, oh hey, we threw a boss in this level. Have fun. So you never know what you're gonna get.
Gotcha.
And it's really interesting because I've played levels already where it was like, oh, they threw an ogre in here, which is a gigantic boss. there's normally not an ogre anywhere near this mission. But because it was the challenge card drawn, it was in there. It's really neat. It changes the way
it's like randomized skulls, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And it's neat. It just changes a little bit, but then you have your builds that you make, and that changes the way things are handled. It's super fun. I've been playing a ton of it. It is, other than the card system, it is literally Left 4 Dead in every way, for better and worse.
That's
for me, for better.
I've been wanting to grab it. I haven't been able to make it to the store lately. We talked about this. I'm still a physical games guy. And I don't want to grab it on Game Pass just to play it on Xbox One. So I think maybe this weekend when I head out, I'll grab it. I got some friends who've been asking me about it.
I would say seriously hit me up at any time, because it's all I want to play.
How them trophies looking?
Not bad at all.
Really?
The ones that are going to be hard are complete Act 1 on the hardest difficulty, complete Act 2 on the hardest difficulty, Act 3, Act 4, etc., and then complete the whole game on the hardest difficulty. I think those will be the hardest ones.
Oh, okay. See, just to put things in perspective, Aliens Fireteam Elite was complete so-and-so mission on the hardest difficulty without shooting a friendly fire even once. And it's
ew.
That game's pretty impossible to do without friendly fire, but also on that difficulty, I think if it's friendly fire, it's an automatic death. So it's one of those things where it's
just to reiterate, ew.
Yeah, no, that game's insane.
But I'm looking at the trophies right now. Complete this level, this level, this level, this level, this level on complete all Act 1 maps on Recruit, Veteran, or Nightmare, and then complete this level, this level, this level, complete Act 2 on Recruit, Veteran, Nightmare. Each of the levels for Act 3, Recruit, Veteran, Nightmare. Complete Act 4 on Recruit, Veteran, Nightmare. And then there are a couple random ones that I haven't gotten yet. I just need to find out exactly how, kill a snitch without it alerting the horde. Basically, you're gonna need to have probably someone with a sniper rifle is my guess, because it's powerful. And just be all right, there's a snitch around. All right, cool, guys, I'm gonna try and kill it quick. And I just haven't gotten there yet. Make a breaker hurt itself, stuff like that. Drop some ammo for a teammate. I don't know how I didn't do that yet, honestly. I'm gonna need to do that. Rescue a teammate from a cocoon. That happens all the time. Complete a mission without any players being incapacitated or killed. You can do that super easily on the first mission.
Everything else is just standard fare then. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know, because I'm looking for I got some friends from, I don't want to say college. I got friends that I got really close to when I lived in San Francisco. But it wasn't all people from San Francisco. It was just people who I knew who played games. So I've made them all intermingle at the time. I've been looking for a 4-player game for us to do, because we did Zombie Army Trilogy together, or Zombie Army 4 together, and that was awesome. That was such a fun
game. I really do want to go back to that.
I'll totally play that game again and help you get the platinum. That game was awesome.
I am ordering a 1 terabyte hard drive for my PS5 next week, and basically, I'm not kidding, that 1 terabyte is going to go to having games installed Division or Battlefront 2 or Avengers, stuff like that, where that hard drive is going to go to games to, at any moment, a friend could say, hey, you want to play some of this? And I'm like, yeah, I have it installed.
No, that's pretty genius.
And Zombie Army will be one of them.
But I'm looking for 4-player games, and the one I think we settled on for right now is Castle Crashers.
Heard that
which I've never played before, so I'm excited to check it out. But other ones on the list, Borderlands 2, I think that was part of what is it, the Handsome Collection or whatever.
Yeah.
Borderlands pre-sequel, Borderlands 3, Diablo 3, Diablo 2, Destiny 2, Monster Hunter World. No one really seemed interested in that. We were maybe GTA 4.
All I'll say is if you ever want to play Monster Hunter World, let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you and Austin know.
I'm always down for World.
Team Sonic Racing is one that I'm trying to convince them to do. Division is one I'm trying to convince them to do. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. I think the games that they're most interested in are so far Castle Crashers and Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I keep trying to convince them to do Wildlands because I've heard terrible things about Breakpoint.
Yeah. Also, you definitely want to try and convince them to do. Is it the Division 1 or 2?
Division 2.
Perfect. You definitely want to help convince them to do that. Because for a raid, you need 8 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. It's a big ask.
It is. But, I mean, I have like 5 people already. So
it's perfect because one of those 4 dudes is like always missing. So that's perfect. That's 8 people right there.
See, there we go.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's all we've been playing, right?
Yeah, that's all I've been playing. We won't have a segment next week because I'll just say it here. Next week is our Halloween episode, which I have big plans for us.
Wait, hold on, Austin. Can you add in like a royalty-free lightning bolt when
or
like right now, and then also like when Elijah said the Halloween episode part? That's how we know you're listening, and B, I just think it'd be really spooky. Maybe a third one there, and then that's the last request from me.
I'll just give a little tidbit of something we'll be doing. We're going to be doing trivia, and my original plan was come up with 15 questions. But that was super hard, so I have 30. And it's all based on spooky stuff. So
spooky stuff or spooky games?
Spooky games.
Okay.
I
don't do spooky games, so I'm really not looking forward to this.
Just know, not all of them are going to be like scary games, because a number of things I'm going to talk about in the episode aren't like scary, but just horror in nature.
Okay, like, so like the boos from Super Mario, but I need to tell you that they're terrifying. The way they just chase after you.
Or like spooky.
If you're not looking at them. Okay.
That's true.
Fine.
That's true. So like,
I like Halloween. I like Halloween vibes.
Yeah.
I like general vibes. It's one of those things where it's like I don't really do well with like graphic horror. I just think it's kind of unnecessary, a little gratuitous. Like
I'm not into like slasher movies or anything.
I'm into the slasher movies until like 1995. Then like everyone's just like too extreme. But it's one of those like the Cenobites from like Clive Barker, like Hellraiser or whatever. I'm just like, okay, guys, like I don't need to see this. Like, who needs this?
But yeah, that's something we'll be doing next week. I'm so excited for that episode. I have plans. I have an entire script for the opening, even, and I never do that. But one thing I wanted to talk about, and I want to get your opinion on this, because it really grates my gears. Yes, I'm sticking with that. Okay. It really grates my gears.
Cheese grates my gears.
It really cheese grates my transmission gears. But
you know what cheeses my chuff?
You know what cheeses my transmission? So, Rockstar is coming out with this GTA remastered trilogy of 3 Vice City and San Andreas. Fine, that's all good. Awesome, I get it. But they took down the current trilogy that was on PSN. It's just not available anymore. Now, part of me understands it because I bet it could become kind of confusing. But at the same time, they took away the cheaper option for people to legally play these games. And it's like anybody who has any interest now, if you have a PS5, you're paying $70.
Oh, it's $70 for all.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't out
for all 3 of them. That's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks. It was $45, right, for all 3 of them before.
Yep.
They were like $14.99 each. I think that's a big concern. I think you're right. I think what's even more frustrating is like there were versions of those games. I don't know if they were still in the App Store, but like I remember it was such a big deal. I don't know if this is the first gaming podcast that people who listen to this have listened to, but man, in like 2011, it used to be such big news when like a game would get ported to phones. And I remember when GTA 3 was ported to iPhone 4, and like what a big deal that was. And I found that infuriating because like that game looked better than the version I could play on my PlayStation 3 at the time. And like for me that's like the bigger sin than even the pricing. Oh, but sorry, and then, like that price, like GTA Vice City is like one of my favorite games of all time. It might actually just be my favorite game of all time.
That's fair.
And that game has historically been $14.99 since it started hitting digital services. Except like it would go on sale regularly on iPhone, and like I think that game was like $6.99 on iPhone.
It's $4.99 right now on the Android store. That's what Android just store. Looking up. I have it right up now.
Okay, sweet. So it's $4.99 there. So that really bummed me out that was like the cheapest, best looking game was on Android, and it was just like the worst way to play it because this was before you could like really easily like pair a controller to your iPhone. For me, the bigger sin is like, I mean, it's not that different than Star Wars, right? Where it's just like, oh, we only have Lucas's special editions. It's like, yes. Okay, but what if we don't like the special editions? What if we just want the original? Because like I was reading some stuff today where it's like they're introducing a new aiming mechanic that's more similar to GTA 5. And it's like, okay, cool, that's dope, because like the aiming is such a pain in the ass in like Vice City and 3 and San Andreas that like I'm sure it's going to be like an improvement. But also, I don't know, like why can't every game just do what Halo Anniversary did? You know, where it's like it literally is just like a press of one button and you're able to like go back and forth. Where it's just like, bro, like I understand that this like makes you money still, and that's great. I can appreciate that, but also like let's not treat this like it's not like a work of art that like came out and was like high end for the time it came out. Like you constantly trying to like reshuffle it and like gussy it up for like a new century or whatever, like a new time period is like kind of a disservice to the amazing thing you did at the time.
This would be like if, okay, George, I need your help here because I can't remember who painted the Mona Lisa.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay, I thought so. That would be like if Da Vinci came back like 3 years after painting the Mona Lisa, and like, man, my brush strokes have gotten so much better, and just started like painting over it to fix it and make it better.
Yeah, not even paint, but that's the thing, is like not even painting a second one, just painting over the original.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like the original is just gone at that point. And the big takeaway for me is they got rid of the cheaper way to play these games. Like, all right, if you want to play these again now, you're gonna have to pony up a bunch more money. And it's like, cool, but what if I only wanted to pony up the 45 and play the other ones? I quick hurried and got the original trilogy. I didn't have it yet.
See, as a real fan, I already had them. I had them for a couple years now.
I actually forgot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to flex on you so hard. I left you speechless there.
It's okay. It only mildly hurt. I also completely forgot they were on PS4. I was thinking they were only on PS3. Were they on PS3?
They were. There was like the classic edition, like PS2 classics or whatever they called it on PS3,
and they were like
$14.99 each, and like this version.
No trophies, right?
No trophies.
Yeah, no, that was why I didn't get them. So no, I completely.
See, that's the thing though. I love trophies. I bought Vice City regardless that there was no trophies, because that is how much I love that game, and like I just wanted to be able to play it.
If I didn't have a PS2 readily available, I probably would have. And like I have like 3 copies of Vice City, and I legitimately don't know why. I don't know where,
because it's the best Grand Theft Auto game.
I don't know where the other 2 came from. But yeah, I don't like this practice, because sure, if you're not interested and don't want to support that, that's fine. But those other ones are still lost. They're gone. And it's not like Rockstar even waited. It's just like, all right, they're leaving next week. When do the remasters come out? You'll find out eventually.
Yeah, November. I've heard between late November, early December. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like, it's dumb for them to take like. Actually, I guess it's not dumb, because now like the only Grand Theft Auto you can buy is 5, and they'd probably prefer you to buy 5 anyway.
Yeah, or like the only one you can buy is 5, and when these come out, the only way you can play is like, well, I guess if you want to play Vice City, you're ponying up the bucks. Well,
I'm more concerned that they like changed the trophies from like what the original PlayStation 4 trophies were.
I actually don't know anything about their trophy list.
Oh man, so I have the platinum in Vice City.
Yo.
Yeah, that one took a while. And I was trying to do it in 3, but like I'm stuck on like the ambulance thing, and it says to like do the ambulance before you move on to the next island because this is like the last time people won't shoot at you as you drive by. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I should do the ambulance thing here. And I need to get to like level 15 of the paramedic thing, and I like can't get past level 8. Anyways, quick aside. They like change the trophies. I'm just wondering like how different is it going to be? Like, is it even worth it? You know,
Yeah.
like, because I remember like the big selling point of, because it was like when GTA 4 came to PlayStation 4, it's just like, okay, what's the deal though? Like, I just played this on PlayStation 3 and they were like, first person mode. I'm like, you got me. All right. Yeah. I think I kind of want it. Yeah, you did it.
When they put that in GTA 5, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Because I didn't get it on PS3, but I'm like, well, I'm not like a big GTA fan or that. But like the first person, that would be kind of cool in a GTA game, actually. Okay,
yeah, just to see what it's like. Yeah. Also, man, this is kind of doing my same thing where it's like, quit releasing the thing you've already released 100 times too. You know, where it's like, okay, yeah, GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas. It's like, all right, that's dope. Why don't you like remaster like GTA 4? Like, why don't we get some or like well, oh God, what was it? Like Chinatown Wars or like Vice City Stories or Liberty City Stories.
City
Like,
Stories, yeah.
bring the games you haven't done a million times. Like, they're doing like the Legendary Edition of Skyrim, right? And that's like coming out in November. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get it. But like, man, I'd be so much more excited if they just did like a remaster of like Morrowind, and like not even a remaster, like no, actually a remaster, right? That's the one where it's like literally just like, we're gonna make this run better and like deeper draw distance or whatever. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, give me one of Morrowind, give me one of Oblivion. Like, don't give me Skyrim for the 15th time. I'm going to buy it.
Oblivion was the first game I ever got 1,000 achievement points for on 360. I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to make a promise right here. Should I ever become partner on Twitch, I will stream me going for the Platinum Trophy in every Bethesda Game Studios game released on a PlayStation console with trophies. So that's going to be 4 versions of Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, New Vegas. I'll go for the platinum in all of them.
It's Wet, right? Wasn't Wet a Bethesda game?
Not Game Studios game.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm talking specifically
not published but developed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so like, there's Wet. There was that one like the Wild Hunt game that wasn't Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, right? Or like Forged, Demon Forge.
Oh,
there's some weird game. Yeah, it's like a third-person action game where it's like you're either like a dude or a chick. One of them's got a crossbow, something like that. Yeah.
God, it's gonna bug me. Yeah, I know exactly what game you're talking about.
God, there's that, and then there's that awful like Michael Madsen shooter game. That was a Bethesda.
I don't know that one.
That one's gonna drive me crazy. That one's gonna drive me crazy. I
need to know that one. But while he looks that up, because I'm very curious about the name now, the last thing we really have planned is we are going to play a game of Video Game 20 Questions. And this all started because I really want to play a game again. And I think George would know the game. In fact, the more I think about it, I know he knows the game.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 20 questions to figure out what the game is that's on my mind.
Okay.
Have you figured out the Michael Madsen game yet?
No, I'm still looking it up. Man, there's so many games. I couldn't remember even like what it was about, so I just started Googling like worst PlayStation 3 games. And man, I owned so many of these games. It's like
probably
really
still
unfortunate.
Do.
Yeah.
And the ones that I don't own, I want to.
Yeah, I think there's like probably more interesting parts in like the failure
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So,
oh God, what is it called? Oh, hey, Amy. I know you love that game.
I've never played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to. I hear
that
it's
game is
garbage.
That game is number 1 on the 25 worst PS3 games of all time.
Oh, while you're looking at that, I will also bring up, I read something, I put it in the Slack. I don't know how credible the site is, I've never heard of it, but supposedly Suda51 gave an interview recently that he got the rights back for Shadows of the Damned.
See, it's unfortunate because this makes me think that Shadows of the Damned is not the game that you will you will have chosen.
It is not. Because I know you would know that game. Also, I absolutely adore that game. Then again, I adore everything Suda51 does for the most points. We're not going to talk about No More Heroes 3.
You're kind of a homer. You're kind of a homer for Suda51, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
That I've never been so sad in my entire year. Okay. I'll stall more time while you're looking that up.
Okay.
I do want to get ideas from anybody listening. I want to find games that are like 1 to 5 hours long to beat that I can each week, even weeks. Okay, for example, like I said, this week I am stuck. I am just all I want to play is Back 4 Blood, and then when I'm not playing Back 4 Blood, I'm just playing some more Death Stranding or playing some more Telluride. I'm playing a bunch of long games right now. Yeah. I'm looking for games that are between 1 and 5 hours to beat. I can just knock out a game a week. Just do something, get through it, and just like have that be my spare time game. And then also play my super long game. So if anybody can come to me and recommend any, that would be awesome.
Define beat within 5 hours. Like, if a game has multiple endings, do you consider seeing all the endings?
Probably not.
Okay.
Like, as long as I see an ending, I'm fine. It depends on the, like, if it's like, Silent Hill 3, where, like, it has a couple endings, most of them are the exact same, and then there's just the UFO ending. I'm just like, alright, I'll see one ending and I'm fine.
Alright. In that case, I have a game for you.
Oh?
It's called Stories, Path of Destinies.
Okay.
And it is like a third-person isometric action game that has combat exactly like Arkham Knight. And you play as a fox, and it's like branching stories, and you can choose which areas to go to, and that sort of changes the way the story goes. But there's an unreliable narrator, so you have to like replay the story itself a couple times to like get the story right, supposedly. And there's like 25 different endings to the game.
That does sound super fun, though.
You can beat the game in like 4 hours, probably 6 hours tops. But to platinum the game, it's like a 15-hour thing. So, but it's like basically it's like doing like a little run where you're like, okay, I need to get to this area and have my journey end here, kind of deal. Where it's just like you've considered like every possible outcome.
Interesting. I like that idea. Yeah, I'll definitely put that on the list.
Okay, and that's like one of my favorite platinums I've ever gotten. I think that stuff's great.
I don't have too many right now that like top of my head. Like I have Abzu. I cannot remember the name of it, but there's like a weird little side-scrolling Final Fantasy 15 game. I also want to start doing the Final Fantasy 15 DLC, which I haven't done yet. All right, have you found it?
I have not. It's got some like dumb one-word name. Oh my god. Okay, it's 2-word. Rogue Warrior.
Oh my god, that's it?
That was it. And I don't know if it's Michael Madsen. It might be Mickey Rooney. I think it's Mickey Rooney. Oh man,
I know what game you're talking about.
God, I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm back in college. God, we were so pissed when we bought that game. We like bought it and then like returned it like immediately.
That's fair. All right, George, are you ready?
Right. I am ready.
You have 20 questions. Well, 19 and a game guess.
And a game guess. Are you gonna mark?
Yes.
I'll mark too. All right. Just so we're on the same sketch. Was this game made in Japan?
No.
All right. Was this game made between 2010 and 2021?
No.
All right. Was this game made between 2000 and 2009?
Yes.
Okay. Was this game made in Europe?
No.
Was this game a PlayStation exclusive?
No.
Is this game a third-person game? Like, is this done in the third-person
Yes.
overhead camera perspective? Okay.
I wouldn't say overhead, but like it is.
Okay, well, I was trying to differentiate like a side-scrolling platformer, you know?
Side-scrolling
Because,
platformer, I'd call like 2.5D.
Okay. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's a three-dimensional third person.
Yeah. Like Metroid Dread would be a like 2.5D. Or something
but,
like
I mean, but that's
Uncharted.
also technically, but because you're seeing like the whole character's body, like that's also
Uncharted is
like,
the third person.
Okay.
Like this.
All right. Did this game have a version of it on the Wii?
No.
No. Okay, so I burned a question there. That sucks. Did this game come out on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation?
Yes.
Okay. All right. See, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at 8 questions. Does this game star, like, do you play as a human? Does it star a human protagonist?
Yes.
Okay. Is this part of a franchise?
No.
Okay.
So that's 10.
Yeah. Shoot. Do you shoot things in this game?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a science fiction game?
No.
Okay. Rap. Let's see. Not made in Japan. Not made between 2010 and 2021. Was made 2000 2009. Not made in Europe. Not a PlayStation exclusive. Third person action game. Did not appear on Wii. You play as a human. Not part of a franchise. Yes, you shoot. And no science fiction. All right. Do you do you play as a woman in the game?
Yes.
Okay. Is the point of the game shooting, or can you just shoot?
That's not a yes or no question.
Is the point of the game to shoot people?
Yes.
Okay. Damn. I was thinking like Mirror's Edge, because I'm like, oh, that didn't come out on Wii. Oh, that stars Faith.
I have that song stuck in my head now.
Which one?
Warning Call
Faith?
by Churches.
Oh, okay.
And now Faith by, yeah.
Because I know you can shoot a gun in Mirror's Edge, but I would not say that that's the point.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was no science fiction. Plays a woman. Yes. Shooting is the point. God. Hmm. Do we talk about this game today? Like during this episode?
Yes.
There's no way it's that game. Was this game published by Bethesda?
Yes.
Yeah? Does this game have like a nice grindhouse aesthetic to it?
Absolutely.
Is this game wet?
I changed when I said I actually know you know it because you mentioned wet in the episode.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang it!
I love that game. I love wet.
I do too. and that's why, like, I think it was pretty well regarded. But I don't know.
It wasn't.
It wasn't? Okay.
It was not.
The only time I ever have heard about if it's good or not is from people who played it and they all liked it.
Okay.
So that's why I had no idea.
I think that's fair. I think people liked it more than critics did, for sure.
I was in my best friend's car for a football on Sunday, and he started playing a song, and he goes, "Do you know what game this song's from?" I'm like, "No," and he goes, "This was on the Wet soundtrack." Man, now I really want to play that again. I actually streamed it like last year or the year before, and I
told you what
I
told you, like, I want to set up a streaming station. I want to learn how to stream and like do it, and I exclusively want to play games that were like, I think the latest game I want to appear was like 2012. I think the earliest game I want to appear is like 1998. Like, I really just want to play everything between like the Dreamcast and like not even the last PlayStation 3 games, but like just before the last PlayStation 3 games. Like, I think that's
a great idea.
I don't know, like, if the games were better then, or if I was just happier with games then. You know what I mean? Like, I think
very well might be.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't know if it's like, did I rely on them less to give me sort of happiness? Were they just more innately happy to me? Like, I've been like really trying to like decide like what it is about that era that I like so much.
It was a good era.
I haven't come up with an answer yet.
No,
there's just some, oh god, dude, like the Dreamcast, I never had one growing up. I grabbed one like off Craigslist a couple years ago. And the second I like booted up Soul Calibur, I'm just like, oh dude, like this feels like a missing part of me. Like, this is what it felt like to be like at a movie theater and like just see like a giant arcade machine and just like put your quarters in and just like hear like that stereo noise just like pop off like so staticky, and then just like go into like the Sega logo. I'm just like, oh, this is a piece of me I didn't know was missing.
I've never played a Dreamcast. I have one. It was given to me, but it doesn't work. Makes me so sad.
I have an extra one. We'll talk after. And I've been like very slowly like building out my Dreamcast collection, and I'm like, all I need to do now. I went over to a friend's house for a birthday party this weekend, and he actually had a CRT, and I was just like, yo, can I maybe have this? I will haul it out of your garage for you if it still works. Because man, light gun games, why'd those have to die? You know,
I actually was just thinking about light gun games recently because somebody on Twitter posted a picture of the two like boxes and entire setups for the House of the Dead games on Dreamcast with the guns and everything. I'm like, man, that would be great. I've only ever played them in arcades. I want to play these.
Once a week I'll get like, you know, a couple beers deep after like I had 1 week where work meetings would go super late until like 8:00. And that always like timed out with like Thursday night football or like, you know, just like movie night or sports or like family dinner or whatever stuff. So I would just like, you know, crack a beer at like 7:30 and just start like just chasing beer with beer after that. And like
Classic.
at the end of like 6 beers, I'd always go on eBay and just look up like Area 51 arcade cabinet, House of the Dead arcade cabinet, Carnival arcade cabinet, Virtua Cop arcade. Like I want one of those light gun arcade shooters so bad for my basement.
Time Crisis 2.
Time Crisis 2 specifically. God, that game is just perfect. That is a perfect game.
So I have that on PS2.
I have Time Crisis 3 on PS2.
I have 2 on or is it PS1? No, I think it's PS2. And then I have Time Crisis 4 on PS3, and then Time Crisis Raising Storm, which is the one you want, because Time Crisis 4 does not have trophies. But Time Crisis Raising Storm has Time Crisis Raising Storm, Time Crisis 4, and some pirate Time Crisis, and they all have trophies.
Sure. Isn't that like one of the most impossible trophy lists in the history of trophies?
I almost guarantee it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that feels right. That's one thing we talked about before, and I know we're starting to get a little long, so we're gonna wrap up soon.
Yeah.
But man, like all this technology from like PlayStation VR, and it's like, okay, but like why don't you just make like a shoot 'em up game? You know, like you don't need a headset. Like it's really cool. Like I genuinely think that God, Shoot 'em Up is the movie it's like based on. Whatever, like that arcade. Oh God, what's the game from like Sony London?
What was it on?
It was on PlayStation. It was for PlayStation VR.
Blood and Truth?
Yes, that's the one.
Game's amazing.
Like I have the platinum in that game, and like it's awesome. Genuinely love it, but also like, bro, like you don't need VR for that. You know, like you could just use like the you could just use like the PlayStation Move controllers, and like I really hope that with PlayStation VR too, because like we've seen the new controllers, like they're clearly going after like everything that like the Oculus 2 Oculus 2 can do, and like hopefully Vive as well.
Well, that's like even PS3 saw a number of light gun games, but like you said, why are they not here again? Because the same way we could play them on PS3, it's very obvious we can use the Move controllers on PS5, considering I was using them last night for Beat Saber. Like that hasn't changed. Like why can't we?
Yeah, why are you drawing such an arbitrary line and such arbitrary sand that you poured out over the ground here?
Like, I understand why we can't do the actual light guns, because it's something with the input and like the way the guns are designed will not work with like
it's
LCD
like what would
TVs
happen?
and that.
Well, what would happen was like the TV itself would like turn off for like a fraction of a second, and it was just like whatever like light was reflecting.
Yeah.
Like there was a light in the gun that would reflect off the TV that would like let the game know if you would like hit the target in time. But like anytime you played like Duck Hunt like on NES, like the reason it goes black isn't because it's like, oh, you shot it. It's because like, oh, you pulled the trigger, which like told the TV to like stop emitting light so you could like bounce the reflection of this light off like that precision pixel. Like it was all like an actual, there's a reason to it. It wasn't like
there's a reason they're called light guns.
Yeah. And that's like such a bummer about like LCD TVs, which like the picture quality is so much better. I would much rather watch everything in HD. But it's sad that like we never stopped to think about these poor light gun games. You know, like why didn't we bring them into the sun with us when we got these 720p and 1080p and now 4K and 8K TVs?
I genuinely don't know if I still have it, and that upsets me. But I had a limited edition blue light gun that came with the European copy of Vampire Knight for the PS2. That was the gun I used for all my light gun games on PS2.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I still have that anymore.
I had the orange one that came with... I actually, man, looking back, I bought a lot of like random accessories. Like I really rolled the dice on Guitar Hero. Like I bought that game without hearing anything about it from other people. I bought it because I thought it looked kind of cool. And I was like, with my girlfriend at the time, it was on sale. And it was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll just try this out. It could be fun. It could be nothing. Because I was like still in the Wild West of like, you buy a game and there's like a 50% chance it just sucks ass.
Yep.
And there's a 50% chance that it's like the greatest thing that you've ever played. So it was a real dice roll. And so like buying the God, there's a microphone app that like I needed for some BS game. There was the light gun that I got for Time Crisis 3, and then buying like a third party light gun so like my friend Jamie could play with me for Time Crisis 3. Yeah, man, lots of taking chances, lots of big swings with accessories on
The dance
PlayStation
pads.
2. I never got into that.
Oh, I've got like 4 dance pads out in a thing in the next room.
I want one for GameCube so bad. Like the number one game on my hit list is like Dance Dance Revolution Mario. Like that is without a doubt my most like my white whale.
Have it right there.
Oh, you SOB. Do you have the GameCube like dance pad?
I don't have that one. I have one, but it's not the like
official,
that, like the one that came with that.
Okay, but it's compatible with GameCube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to as soon as I get my CRT set back up. I've got two CRT TVs in the room next to me.
Right, we'll talk after this. We'll see how bad you want that Dreamcast.
But
well, that's everything from me. Yeah, I'm all tapped out for games now.
I think we are going to wrap up for the night. Thanks for listening to us on this Ramblecast. We'll be back with a normal episode, normal crew next week for the Halloween episode.
But it's not a normal episode because it's a trivia episode, right?
That's fair. It's not all trivia, but
it's just like degrees of normal.
Yeah. There's going to be some favorite frights, some scientific discoveries.
Spoilers. I thought I was doing that part. We'll talk after. After. But I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. And then we also have the trivia. But thank you for joining us for this week. You can find us on any podcatcher of your choice. Obviously, if you are listening to us, you have found us. Show your family, show your friends, show your family's friends, show your family's friend's dog. Who knows? Maybe it'll calm them down.
Also, I think what makes our podcast special is we're able to sort of like dunk on things, but we do it, I think, really respectfully.
Yes.
So if you disagree with anything that we disagreed about, please let us know. Like, yeah.
I want to hear other sides.
I do too. And all we ask is that you be cool about it, but also, I don't know, I haven't smoked a cigarette in a couple days. I've also cut out soda. So like, I barely know what I'm doing right now. I'm like just out here on the raggedy edge. So like maybe I did go too far when I was talking about GTA Remastered. Just let us know either way. Just reach out to us. Talk to us.
You can find us on Twitter at frameskippod, which is Coach, also at Austin J. Eller, at Seth the 90s Kid. Don't follow him for Seth. Find George at PurpleBird616. Find me at Local Lizard Man. And also find me on Twitch at Local Lizard Man on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. If you were hearing this the weekend this comes out, I'm not going to say there are going to be no streams, but I will be at a convention, so I might stream a little bit from the convention floor.
Ooh.
So we'll see what I really have time to do. But the big thing, next weekend, I'll be streaming. Friday night is Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. Saturday night is Back for Blood. And Sunday is going to be starting at like noon or 1. We're going to play entirely through Condemned Criminal Origins to see if I can get the final 2 achievements I need.
Oh, hot damn, that's exciting.
I'm super excited for that one. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at frameskippod@gmail.com or just hit us up on Twitter. Those are the easiest. There's a bit.ly/frameskipq.
Yeah.
But
there's that. I like talking about comic books. I think Elijah likes talking about Star Wars. So
I do.
Don't be afraid. Don't feel entitled to just talk to us about video games. We're here to talk about
talk to
all
us
kinds
about
of nerdy
anything.
stuff. Yeah. I live on an island off the coast of Maine. I'm pretty bored, pretty open schedule. So hit us up.
There we go. thank you for listening, and until next time, good night, listeners. Good night.